Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Now before we begin, I have to say a massive thank you as always to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person not once but twice. We'll explain more why in just a second to get these awesome high-res pics. Show Ryan some love down in the comments below, because without him and his photography, this series literally wouldn't be possible. If you are looking to pre-order Doc Ock in either the standard or deluxe versions, he is available from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is down in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and an awesome reward system. Now let's get the elephant out of the room first, the head sculpt. Hot Toys were so worried about the reception yesterday that they actually denied Ryan the privilege of taking photos of the prototype when he went to Secret Base. He had to come back the second day. I guess the staff had kind of relaxed their photography rules because he was now able to snap these pics. JC Hong also posted that this is not the final head sculpt, so we will be seeing a potential update post sometime in the near future. But nevertheless, this is what you're going to be pre-ordering off, so let's discuss the prototype. Now it does come in two different variations. You can get the standard, which comes with these tentacles you're seeing right now. They're just the basic ones. There are some yellow markings on the outside, and there are a ton of scratches and details on the surface to show that these aren't just brand new Doc Ock tentacles. You also have the accurate pincers on the end, so the more sharper design as well as the flat, more blunt ones, just like we saw in Spider-Man 2 and then of course in No Way Home. You also have the red dot on the end. Now, interestingly enough, these are supposedly posable via a wire on the inside. Now, Toys R Us made their very own Doc Ock, and each linkage of the arm was a ball joint. That means you had pretty much complete control over the tentacles themselves, unlike Doc Ock in the films, but these go a completely different route. That means I'm pretty sure Hot Toys is going to be using the same technology as their dynamic flight poles on the inside of these. It's just the outside that has these separate linkages over the top. Again, we will have to wait and see when this guy is released if that is how it actually works, but so far, based off what I've read, that is what Hot Toys have done here. The tentacles look great. I have no complaints whatsoever with them, and I'm surprised that they are actually offering two versions. That means you can display him as a Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock, although he is wearing a turtleneck here. I am curious if you will be able to remove it and what the body looks like underneath, so you can have the shirtless appearance, just like we had with the third-party figure, but we will have to wait and see when this guy is released, because Hot Toys weren't quite ready to release that information. If you do go for the deluxe version, however, you get the upgraded 2.0 versions of the tentacles with the nanotechnology integrated. He of course steals it off the Iron Spider suit when he tries to murder Spidey. Nevertheless, I really like these. It goes without saying that I will be picking up the deluxe version, we'll do comparisons to the Toys R Us Doc Ock, and we will discuss which of the tentacles are my favourite look when I actually get this guy in hand. But if I had to guess right here and now, I would probably go for the upgraded deluxe ones. I really like the pop of colour here. Plus, they have added that surface level of detail with the scuffing and the scratching and the wear and tear. Once again, nothing here is brand new. These tentacles have seen some action. Hot Toys have done a really good job conveying that through the paint applications. I am curious to see though, will this figure be able to be held up by the tentacles themselves if they are indeed using that super sturdy flight pole mechanism? Or conversely, are they going to be too heavy for him to stand without the use of the display base? Because right now, my Toys era Doc Ock isn't being held up whatsoever. He can stand perfectly fine without the display base. I'm also curious to see how they attach to his back. These are all questions that we won't be able to know the answer to until this guy eventually ships sometime in late 2023, I would suppose, if there are no engineering challenges. And if there was ever to be a figure that encountered said engineering challenges, it would be this guy. He's a super complex design. I'm glad to see the spike is present, making its return from Spider-Man 2, and it does look suitably pointy. I'm also a fan of the silver metallic they've used for the spike itself, and I'm pleased to report that the claws will be able to open and close, and I'm glad that the mechanism, the hinges, aren't super unsightly. They are there, you can tell that these things can move, but it's an in-universe design. They haven't toyified it, if that's a word. Now, the yellow paint applications are still present on these tentacles. That makes sense. These are still the very same tentacles. It's just the red details on the outside that are new. I'm not exactly sure in the film what the red elements were supposed to give Doc Ock, but it is film accurate. I also like the smaller footprint display base. I'm not a huge fan of the print on top that literally just says Doc Ock, but we'll have to wait and see if that is the final design. Now, moving on to the outfit, this is eerily familiar. It does have the Spider-Man 2 look and feel, but it is slightly changed, and we'll discuss that when we get to the upper torso. The shoes, super basic. They're literally some black dress shoes with some dirt and grime on the surface. Then he does have multiple layers up top. An inner brown trench coat, which does look to have a working zip if for some reason you wanted to zip the inner jacket up and cover up all of that awesome detail, which, let's be honest, you probably wouldn't do. I'm also hoping that there are some wires in here. It very clearly looks as though it's splayed out here, so I would imagine there will at least be one on the outside jacket. Whether or not they include one on the inside, again, I know I've said this a bunch of times, but we will have to wait and see. The pattern on the outside jacket does look fairly accurate to the movie. I'm by no means a Spider-Man 2 or No Way Home costume aficionado at this point, because I haven't been able to study it super closely as of yet. When No Way Home comes out on digital, I will be able to check the reference a little bit closer, but it does, to my eye, look the way it should. You also have that metallic cummerbund section that, in the film, his tentacles were attached to, and the new piece is up on top. You now have a grey turtleneck. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the film, wasn't the turtleneck black? I could be misremembering, and chances are I probably am, but that's the image that I just conjure when I think of Doc Ock from No Way Home. They have gone with grey, and it does look to be just a regular old 1/6 scale turtleneck. Nothing really to report here. Again, I am curious if you will be able to remove it. I'm sure those of you who are more adventurous than I am with your modding will be able to get that done and create a more accurate Spider-Man 2 look, which is of course what we saw with the third-party version of Doc Ock. Overall, if you are just talking about the body, the accessories, and the outfit, this guy, in my opinion, and you don't have to agree with me, is the winner. The one key area, the biggest point of contention though, is the head sculpt. Once again, this, according to JC Hong, is not the final one. He is wearing his glasses, and it's worth noting that Ryan did say on display it looked better than in the promo pics, and it does look substantially better from certain angles. This right here is the worst angle. It looks pretty much nothing like him. I think we could potentially agree on that. The hair looks very flat, kind of like a bowl cut, The mouth is giving me the Ant-Man head sculpt vibes, but when we switch to the other side, suddenly the Alfred Molina likeness intensifies. I don't exactly know why that's the case. I guess we all have good and bad sides, but suddenly this head sculpt isn't looking, again, to me, 100% terrible. Is it perfect? Hell no, it definitely isn't. I would love to see the revised version, but this one definitely does have its good sides, and I think we're looking at it. I mean, that shot right there, that looks like a Hot Toys version of Doc Ock. Once again, from the other side, you do start to lose the likeness a lot, and when you take the glasses off, it looks far worse, but this head sculpt isn't all bad. That being said though, we are pre-ordering based off this head sculpt. This is the one that they solicited, so you do have to be comfortable if potentially something goes awry and they decide to ship it with this head sculpt, that this could potentially be what your Doc Ock looks like. If that isn't going to work for you, and I totally understand if it isn't, then this may not be the Doc Ock for you. But if you want to play the waiting game and see what the revised head sculpt looks like, that also makes perfect sense. For me, I am suitably satisfied. This is going to be my Doc Ock in the display. I can already see the comments. Justin, here you go again, making excuses for Hot Toys. No, don't get me wrong, I'm totally not doing that. This head sculpt is not their finest work. We can agree on that. But I think we can also agree that Ryan's photos have showed it off in a better light than the promo pics. The angles are strong with this sculpt, some are worse than others, and with all of that being said, it doesn't matter anyway because this head sculpt is being replaced. Now, if you are still looking to pre-order this guy and you want to take the gamble with the sculpt, he is available in standard and deluxe flavors from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and an awesome reward system. While you're down there, check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.